Hello everyone, we are back with lesson 6, which is problem solving investigation, and you'll find that in this book at the end of every chapter there is a lesson that kind of is just mostly word problems. So we're going to work through a couple of those together, and then I'll give you a chance to do a couple by yourself, and that will hopefully get you ready for the test coming up at the end of the week. All right. Lesson 6 is called Use the 4-Step Plan. Okay, so they actually have the steps laid out for us, and we're just going to work through these together. Okay, so here is the question. It says, Ben, Andy, and Kelly each live in a different city. The populations of the cities are 372,952, 225,395, and 373,926. Use the clues to find the population of the city where Ben lives. So we're using clues. This is kind of like a game, okay? The clues, if you haven't noticed yet, are right here. So here are the clues we're going to use to solve this mystery. All right, first, understand, what facts do I know? Okay, I know that Ben, Andy, and Kelly each live in a different city. The question told me that. The populations of the cities are, here are the cities. I'm going to write those down. So I know that one of the cities has 372,952. I know that the other city has 225,395. And I know that the last city has 373,926. Okay? And then finally, what do I want to find? I want to find the population of the city where Ben lives, okay? So the population of, and then we're going to say Ben's. We're going to use an apostrophe in there because it's the city that Ben lives in, so it shows possession, okay? Ben's city. All right, the second step says plan. So the plan is I'm going to order and round the populations. So first step of step 3 says, solve. Order the populations from least to greatest, okay? Blank lives in the city with the least population. Well, we learned earlier in the chapter to write numbers in a place value chart, and if we line everything up the same way with the place values in line with each other, then that will help us figure out the order. So let's write these. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to kind of spread my numbers out so that I can line them up pretty easily. So I've got 225,395. Now when I write 372,952, I'm going to keep the place values in line. At least I'm going to try to keep them in line, okay? And then the third number, I'm going to try to keep it in line as well. Okay, so let's just kind of draw a little box around it. I know that this is my makeshift place value chart, okay? So I'm going to order them from least to greatest. Always pay attention to this because sometimes they'll say greatest to least, but in this case we're doing least to greatest. So when I am ordering numbers, I always look at the biggest place value first. So the biggest place value of these numbers is the 100,000s place, which is right here, okay? In the 100,000s place, I have a 2, a 3, and a 3, okay? Of those 3 digits, which one is the least, okay? 225,395 is the least populated city because it is a 2 instead of a 3, which is smaller, okay? So if I go down here and it says blank lives in the city with the least population. Well, I know in my clues that Andy lives in the city with the least population. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write Andy beside my chart because I know that this is his city. Okay, can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so next I'm going to round the remaining populations to the nearest 1,000, okay? So I've got to round this number. I'm just going to kind of mark through this because I'm going to forget about this number for a second. I'm going to round this number and this number to the nearest thousand. Well, I need to do that. I need to look at the numbers in the thousands place. In this one, I have a 2, and in this one, I have a 3. I'm going to underline the numbers to the right of each of those numbers. This 9 tells my 2 to go up 1. That's right, because 9 tells my rounding number to go up. So I'm going to keep the numbers to the left of the number, okay? I'm going to make this digit go up 1, and I'm going to fill in the rest with zeros, okay? So 372,952 rounds to 373,000. Okay, then I have to do the same thing to this number. This 9 tells this 3 to go up 1. So I'm going to keep the digits to the left of my circled number. My circled number is going to go up 1 because the 9 tells it to. And then the rest I fill in with zeros. Okay, so 373,926 rounds to 374,000. Okay, so now I know this is Andy's city, and I've got these two rounded. Got to read what I got to do for the rest of it. Kelly lives in the city with the population that rounds to 374,000. Well, this is the one that rounds to 374,000, so this is Kelly. Okay? So Ben must live in the city that has a population of, and I don't want to use my rounded amount, I want to use my real amount. So Ben lives in the city that has a population of 372,952. And it says check. Does your answer make sense? Sure. I know that Andy lived in the city that had the smallest population. I went ahead and got rid of that number. I didn't even have to think about it much after the very beginning of the problem. And I know that I rounded these numbers correctly because I know that these are both in the thousands place. So I circled the right amount, or the right place value. And I know that 9s tell the circled numbers to go up 1. So I know I'm correct. And I'm not going to fill all that in, but we are correct in that. Okay? So hopefully you understood that. Now, please pay attention. Look how much work I had to do to figure this problem out, okay? I know a lot of times 4th graders like to just hurry up and get an answer, but sometimes you have to do a lot of figuring to do that, and it's okay because everything's not going to come easy. You have to read, reread, follow step by step, okay? So this is really giving us practice in following steps. All right, let's go and do the next one on the next page. Let me make sure we can see it. There we go. All right, here's our problem, and we are going to look for the same steps as we did in the last question, but this time they're not giving us the steps along the way of what to do. We have to figure it out ourselves, and I know that we can. All right, it is estimated that a movie made more than $7 million, but less than $8 million. There is a 5 in the thousands place, a 7 in the 10,000s place, and a 6 in the 100,000s place. The 1s, 10s, and 100s places have zeros in them because the total is an estimate. What is the estimated amount of money that the movie made? Now, if I looked at that question and didn't think about the whole rest of the page, I would say, oh my goodness, what in the world are they asking me to do? But it's not going to be that bad because we're going to do it step by step, okay? We're not going to get overwhelmed with this big old problem. We're going to take it one step at a time, and then you'll say, oh, that was easy. All right, so let's do that. First, I want to underline the facts that I know. They want us to write it on this line, but I always just like to underline what I know because sometimes we know a lot and we don't want to write all that out. So we're just going to underline what we know. So instead of understand, I'm just going to say underline what you know, okay? So here's what we know. I know that the movie made more than 7 million, but less than 8 million, okay? I know that. I know that in this number, there's a 5 in the thousands place, a 7 in the 10,000s place, a 6 in the 100,000s place, and I know that the 1s, 10s, and 100s place have zeros in them. because the total is an estimate. I know all of those things, okay? That would have been a lot to write, so it's a good thing we just underlined, okay? Then it says, what do you need to find? So what I need to find, I'm going to circle. So circle what you need to find, okay? So what do I need to find? I need to find what is the estimated amount of money that the movie made. Now, do I have to do any estimating? No, because the answer that's there is already an estimate, they said. All right, so plan. I'm going to go back here and see what it said for plan, because usually it's just the same thing. Plan, I can order and round populations. That's not what we're doing here. For this plan, we are going to place numbers, place digits. I'm going to say place digits in correct place value. Okay, so that's our plan. And I'm going to show you how to I put place val. That is not a thing. Let's try again. Value. Okay, so to solve, here's what I'm going to do. When they give you all these clues like this, and I know because I've done these chapters in the past, I know that they give us questions like this again, where they kind of say, this is in this place, this is in that place, or whatever, and it's overwhelming. So a good trick to do is to draw out your place value boxes. So I know that I have a thousands place, a 10,000s place, 100,000s place. So I know that when I do that, I would say ones, tens, hundreds, comma, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. And since they didn't mention millions, yes, they do. Okay, I'm going to tell you how we know that here in a second. Okay, so I do know that it's in the millions place because it's between 7 million and 8 million. And even though they don't mention that down here, I'm going to tell you how we know what number goes right here. Okay, so if you don't know these off the top of your head, a good thing to do would be to label them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know that this is the ones, this is the tens, this is the hundreds, this is the thousands, this is the 10,000s, this is the 100,000s, and finally, this is the millions. Okay, so here's how we're going to find this answer, okay? First, it made more than 7 million, but less than 8 million. So if I have a number in the millions that's between 7 million and 8 million, what number has to be in the millions place? It has to be less than 8 million, but more than 7 million. So how many millions do I have? Can I have 8 million? No, because it's less than 8 million. But can I have 7 million? Yes, because it's somewhere between 7 and 8, which has to be that 7, okay? So that's how I know what goes in my millions place, okay? Moving along to the next clue. There is a 5 in the thousands place. Since I've already labeled everything, this makes this even easier. So I'm going to put a 5 in the thousands place, okay? There is a 7 in the 10,000s place. There it is. And a 6 in the 100,000s place. The ones, tens, and hundreds all have zeros in them because the total is an estimate. So what is the estimated amount of money that the movie made? The estimated amount of money that the movie made was $, because we're talking about money, 7,675,000, and that's it. So here is our answer. And it says, does my answer make sense? Of course it makes sense because I just explained all of that, okay? All right, so what you're gonna do is you're going to work on the independent problems on 45 and 46, okay? So think about all of the steps that we took to figure these problems out. They don't give you all of that room because honestly, you don't need to write every single bit of that out because think about it. We underlined what we knew. We circled what we wanted to find out. You don't have to write out your plan. Just know your plan in your head and then solve the problem and write your answers in there, okay? You've got margins and wherever else to do it. Please don't skip doing these problems because you really need practice at doing them, okay? So when you finish 45 and 46, you're going to log back into Schoology and you're going to do the self-check for lesson 6. Again, you get 2 chances on those, so if you don't do too hot on the first try, go back and review some stuff. Take your time, try it again, okay? We want everybody to be successful, so please, please, please use all of your resources and take your time and do your very, 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 very best. All right, tomorrow we'll be reviewing for this week's test. All right, see ya next time. Bye.